You see they are kind of facing different ways, so we do need to fix some of this. This, for example, we wanted this as straight up and down, not side to side. So let's go into an edit mode here. I'm going to select a vertex here, okay, but I can't see anything on my UV map. Let me open this out a little so we can get a clearer view. But so what I can do is I need to sync the existing map with the object. So when I select something on the object, you can see where it is on the UV here. And for that we use the sync button, which is this one here. Now you can see my whole UV layer has appeared, and you can see the one we selected. So I know that this island here relates to this face. So now I can just select. Actually, it won't let me. Let's try this another way, and let's turn off the sync. It was this island down here. Okay, so now I can select this all and start to rotate it by about 90 degrees, straighten this up. Right, this one's straight, which is fine. These two are going sideways, which I didn't want. Right, so let me turn on the sync again so I can find what island this relates to. And I can see it's this one here. So I can select all, and I can turn off the sync, which is there. Select one on here, L, rotate, get at 90 degrees or thereabouts. Okay. Okay, even with or without a sync I can kind of guess these, whether this will work or not, I don't know. If I start to rotate that, I see nothing turning there, so it's on the hidden face. So I better use a sync. So select one here. Where is it? Ah, it's up here, so turn it off. There it is. No, I need to turn it. I need to select all, don't I? And it was this one here, wasn't it? So let's rotate this. Okay, so they're all the right way round. This actually goes crossways, but I quite like that. That's up and down. That one's sideways. So let's turn on the sync. And this is this island down here. Okay, so let's turn that off. Select all. Select this island and rotate it kind of 90-ish, but it's coming off the texture here, I can see that, but that's okay, we can sort that out in a minute. Let's have a look at the other sides. The inside, this inside face is going the wrong way, so I can see that's this island here. So let's select all. What did I say? This island here, yep. Let's turn off the sync. No, it's this one, wasn't it? Okay, and rotate that by about 90, thereabouts. Just going to grab this and move it up a little. So that's up and down, that's up and down, that's going sideways. They actually go sideways underneath, but I quite like that. And these back ones probably need an up and down treatment. So let's select one there, turn the sync on, which is this island here. So we'll select all there, and we'll select this island after turning off the sync. Select all there, and we'll select one on this island, rotate it, and we'll do the same here. Let's turn this off. That's this top island here. Okay, so I'll select all, turn the sync off, and just rotate that one. Okay, so I've got some UVs coming off. I don't want that. So I'm going to select all the UVs here, And I'm going to try this with the pack islands, and here you can see it's moved them all onto the texture space. Okay, so let's just bring this into object mode, have a quick final check. That's kind of looking where I wanted it. That's not looking too bad. I think we're ready to bake a texture. So we've got our texture node set up here. However, I'm going to be baking a new texture, so I think we need to make a new one. So I'll make a new one. It's 1024. You could probably get away with smaller, and I'm going to call this sofa text. I don't want alpha, and that's okay. Right, so we need to select the sofa text here. We'll just check one last look in rendered mode, make sure it's looking the way we want it, and it is. So let's go back to a texture mode. Not texture, because it's picking up this texture, which is black. Let's go into a material mode. Sorry. Right, so object selected, image selected, we're in cycles render, the material's been applied obviously because it's showing up there. Let's come back and let's do a bake. So come down to bake, and we're on combined, and I'm just going to do a quick bake. While this is baking, I shall just pause the video because it'll probably take about 5 minutes or so. Yep. Okay, we're back and it's nearly done. Let's just see how it turns out. There it is, and there you can see we've got this nice baked texture, and it's all one object. The details not too bad. I could have used a better detailed source texture, but it's not too bad. And if we change this into textured view, it's picking up this texture, and this is pretty much how it's going to look. Right, so we've got this object, we've got our texture. First of all, let's save this texture. So we'll save as image, and we'll call it sofa text, which is fine. RGB. Okay, save that as an image. Let's actually save this file. So we'll save as, it's untitled because it's a brand new file, and we'll call it sofa. Okay, and this object, let's export it. So we'll go to File, Export, Collada Default. Okay, first thing I always do is the operator presets is I change it to SL OpenSim Static. This checks what needs to be checked down this list. Okay, and it's automatically named it from the file, which is sofa DAE. And I'll just export that to my desktop where I can find it easily in a minute. Don't worry about this error message here. This is a bad plugin or add-on I've got, but it's fine. It's not going to affect this model. So we've exported the sofa, and we've saved the texture. I think we can go into Second Life and see what's happening with it. So I'm just going to pause this while I load Second Life, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so we're back and Second Life is loaded. You can see I'm back here in the classroom. So let's try and upload and see what's going on with this. What do we need to adjust or change? So I'll go to build, upload and a mesh model. I'll navigate to my sofa. Open, it should appear in a window here. And yep, that's looking pretty much as I expected it. So what can we change? We've got 10,000 triangles, which is a lot. We probably have to do something about that for this type of object. But anyway, what I was getting to is level of detail. Lowest, pretty much always I will turn that to 0. A sofa is going to be used, one would imagine, inside a house, so you're never going to be that far away, and you don't need to retain the detail of it to be seen from 2 sims away. That being said, because it's inside a house, it's not an outside item, I'll probably reduce this a bit as well. So 500's looking okay there. Right, physics. We get the automatic physics options. We can make our own physics mesh and load it from file, or we can use one of these options. Now, if we zoom in, you see this height is absolutely ridiculous. We don't need that much detail. If we come down to low, even that is a lot of detail, a lot of triangles making up this physics mesh. If we come down to lowest, it's come down to one triangle, okay, which is no good because we want some collisions around us over. So it looks like we're going to have to make our own. Right, okay, so we better do that now. So let me just close this out and let me bring Blender back up. So we've got our SOVA here. How do we make a physics mesh? Well, it's actually not that hard. Let me go into a front view here, okay, and I'm going to add just a plane. So Shift A and mesh plane. Okay, so we see our plane here, and actually on my model it's come out pretty much exactly where I might want it. Just bring it up there, say to the top of the cushions or the pillows, to the top of the base of the seat, and it's going to need resizing. So let's SX, let's bring it down to about there, probably even a bit less actually. Right, let's go into side view, and obviously it's way too large there, so SY, let's bring that all the way in. Once again, I'm starting to lose sight a bit, so I'm going to go into a wireframe view. So now I can see this clearer. So about there, probably a bit smaller, about there. Even that would do. Let's bring that across to there. Alright, so we have this plane. We want a collision on the backrest. So what I'm actually going to do with this now is I'm going to be working in edit mode because I want this physics mesh to be just one object. It's very simple. Rather than adding a series of planes and joining them, I'm just going to go into edit mode. Make sure everything's selected, okay, and once again I will Shift D to duplicate this, but it'll all be part of the same mesh. So Shift D, I'm going to move it up, which is fine. I'm going to go into my side view. I'm going to rotate this to match the rake of the back, somewhere about there I suppose. Just kind of place it about there. So we have that. Right, so back in my front view, I want some collision on the arms. So again, I'm going to Shift D, and I'm going to move this across off to the side. Okay, well, I go to my side view again. The arms we want straight, so I'm just going to rotate this back kind of straight again. I'm using my grid as just an eyeball reference. We want to rotate it around a Z-axis because we want it to come across here. So RZ90. We can grab it, move it down, and size it to where we need it. So SY, about there. SZ, let's bring it up a bit, and then move it up a bit. Yep, that'll work. Front view, we bring it into the arm, and that's about where it should be. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this again so I can drag it across to the other arm. So Shift D on the X-axis and bring across to there. Okay, that basically will be our physics model. Let me go into object mode and let me go into a solid mode. So we can see we've got kind of physics mesh here, and we've got our object. If I just press a G to move that, that's exactly what I wanted. Actually, no, I'm maybe seeing a problem here, but it's fine, we can work with it. So I'm just going to right click to drop it where it was, and I'm going to move this object, this physics object, to its own layer. Okay, so I'm just going to press the M key and move it to the second layer. Now I'm going to come across to layer 2. I can have a look around. And actually the problem I was seeing is I thought this was these two planes were intersecting, but it's just the angle of that. So this is okay. This is ideal, it works as a physics mesh. So let's export this physics mesh. So File, Export, Color to default again, but this one we're going to call it SOVA me come this side of it. Sofa underscore fizz. And it's already set for the SL static or the Collada static. Exporting that to our desktop, export, that's fine. Okay, let's come back into SL. There we go, and we'll try this again. Let's get rid of that. Build, upload mesh model. We'll load our sofa again. There it is. We'll reduce this down to 0, and this I think we had around about 504. That'll work. One second, let me just get rid of this. Right, so back to our physics. We made a physics mesh, so let's go from file and let's browse to our sofa physics. Okay, and you can see it's off kilter, it's skew width. Now the reason for this is because we never applied our scales and rotations. So let's close that again. Let's come back, and if we look, our scale is off, although rotations are 0, but I'm just going to Control A, apply rotation and scale. And because we messed around with this so much, we can see the rotation is off and the scale is off. So Control A, apply rotation and scale. So I'm going to export these again. So export to Collada default. That's all applied. I'm going to select that file and export the sofa. Let's come across to the other layer, select the physics mesh, file, export, and I'm going to select the physics mesh, export Collada. Okay, back into SL, and we'll try this once more. So I'll upload my mesh model, which is my sofa. There it is. Reduce this to 0. Reduce this to around about 500. Come across to physics, select from file, browse, my sofa physics, and now you can see that it's all lining up as it should. That's because I applied the rotation and scale. Okay, I'm going to analyze that just so it kind of sticks where it is. I don't need to touch anything else here. Upload options, it's looking on the small side. 1.2 meters, I'd expect it to be around about 2 meters, so let's just scale this up a bit. 1.8, yeah, around about 2 meters wide. That should be more like it. Let's rename this sofa, and this really is just a poll. It's so that the lads get an idea of what you are, what type of mesh it is, what it's going to be used for. To be honest, most of the time I never even bother with it. So let's go back to our first tab here, and let's calculate the weights and fees and see what's happening. So this may take a minute, it usually does, to calculate. So I'm just going to put, oh no, it was straight away it happened. And you see here we've got a land impact of 2.5 for a sofa. If we're looking at our individual weights here, the physics is only half a prim. The sofa is about 2.5. We can probably improve a little on that, but just for the sake of it, let's go ahead and upload it and see what it's looking like. So it's only 11 lindens to upload, so I'm uploading it. There we go. Object, and let's just res it out. And there's our sofa in world. Let's just bring the texture in as well. Sure, save that sofa text. Ah, I'm not finding it. Must have saved it somewhere else. Okay, well, not to worry. Let's come back to Blender and save it again. This texture, sofa text, image, save as image. I saved it to documents. I want to save it to my desktop. Okay. So let's try that then. Control U, and where is it? There it is. Open. Let's upload and bring that in. It'll take a minute to come through. There it is. Just going to drag this onto the sofa. It's a little dark because normally when you upload a mesh, it if you go to the texture, you'll see it's got a grey colour. Let's just change that to white, a bit brighter, showing the light, looking good. It's about what I expected, what I wanted it to be. You know, looking around the model in SL is a good idea, such as I can see a gap here now. I would probably want to change that. But as I said, this isn't a full tutorial, this is a quick and dirty insight into, you know, the way I sometimes design things. We already modelled the pillow. Why would we want to model it all over again? You know, it's there, it's perfectly good, it's fine. We've done a few adjustments, we already unwrapped it, we already added a material, we just had to adjust that a little, and in the sake of, what, 30 minutes or so, I've gone from a pillow to a sofa in world, and, you know, it's looking good. Obviously, if I was going to sell this product, I would spend a bit more time on it and tidy up a few bits and pieces, but it just gives you an insight that once you make something, you're not stuck with that, that's it. You can import it into another file, you can adapt it a little, you can change it a little. Anyway, I hope this has helped you a little bit. Like I say, this isn't a full tutorial, it's just giving you an insight into how I work and what you can do with things that you've already made.